It's something I grew up with, and I'd like to see money become far less of a dirty word. And there's no reason why you shouldn't talk about money to people that you know. So I guess maybe that's the difference there. Wait until you get to know them. If you think that this person is going to be in your life, then yeah, open up as soon as you can.
That's actually sound dating advice there as well.
Yeah.
Right. So before we deep dive into the world of finance, what are the first 3 things you do with your money when you get paid?
The first 3 things I do with my money when I get paid. This might sound quite boring, but it probably isn't anything I do with my money when I get paid, because I've set everything to automate. So that would be my advice, is automate as much as you can, so that when you get paid, you don't need to think about what you need to do. So whether that be paying into your pension, paying into your ISA, all these things I have on direct debits. I suppose I use a credit card for my spending, and I do that for the points that the credit card gives me, which I can then use in the future for hotels or flights or whatever that might be. It also helps build a good credit score. So I pay that off every month. So that's the first thing I would do.
Okay.
That's probably the only thing that I manually do. Everything else is automated.
So which credit card do you use?
I personally use an American Express. There's lots of good ones out there though. So yeah, Avios points and things like that I can turn into flights. I'm lucky my partner works for British Airways, so between us we have a number of travel benefits that way. So yeah, we get to travel relatively cost effectively.
I do hear that switching credit cards does help with points building as well. As you know, as a new credit card customer, you do get some of the new offers that are given out. Is that something you do, or do you just stick to the same American Express?
I have done it before, if it's worth doing. It's the same thing with bank accounts as well. New customers are often getting slightly better benefits than existing customers, so it does help to shop around. And yeah, you're right, moving around makes a big difference. Often you get, you know, a load of additional points when you first set up a credit card, for example. That can be really useful. But with credit cards, just be careful you're not opening too many of them, because it's quite easy to do that every year, every 18 months, and then before you know it, you've got 5 or 6 credit cards hanging around. And unused credit cards can be quite unhelpful. So yeah, just make sure if you are switching them around, make sure you're closing the ones that you've switched.
Okay. When you say unhelpful, as in, do they ruin your credit score at all, or is it just...
It can have a detrimental impact if you have a dormant credit card.
Okay.
So, you know, if you have one that has a 0 balance, fine, but maybe every now and again just fill up the car with it, pay it off at the end of the month, at least, you know, make 1 or 2 purchases during the month to make sure that it's still active.
Yeah.
Because yeah, dormant accounts can potentially have a detrimental impact.
Okay. And what are the reasons for that? So do you know?
Just because the point of a credit card having a good impact on your credit score is the demonstration of managing debt and managing credit and paying and using it and paying it off. If you're not doing that, then it potentially demonstrates the opposite, that you just have credit that you're not actually using or managing. So yeah, close accounts you're not using.
Okay. If you could describe your personal relationship with money in one word, what would it be?
Evolving.
It's a good answer. I like that one. That's how I think of my relationship with money as well.
I think that would probably be true for almost everybody.
Yeah.
Well, certainly it should be.
Well,
it's
yeah.
not. No one's got a perfect relationship, and no one's got a relationship that you can't improve.
Some people out there do ignore their relationship with money because it could be a tough subject, and sometimes we just never have enough.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of people, I've met so many people who just say, "Oh, I'm really bad with money."
Yeah.
You know, I've got my partner deals with it, or whatever it might be. And I've had that with clients before, where typically it can, particularly with older clients, it's often the woman, because traditionally the man takes care of the finances. But lots of younger people as well with bad relationships with money, and that's not a personality trait. That's something that's learned through the relationship that you have with it growing up. That might be from your parents, it might be from the community you grew up in, or an experience. But all those things can be unlearned, and I would say I'd never had a great experience with money when I was a kid. I didn't have an awful lot of it, and I had to unlearn a lot of those behaviours around money being sort of related to greed and some negative connotations, whereas actually a healthy, positive view of what money can do for you could make such a big difference for anybody when they're younger, going into work, starting to earn money, how to manage it, how it can work for them. The more we can educate on that, I think the better off everyone would be.
Facts. I remember when I was younger, after getting paid, I'd go out on the weekend and be scared to actually check my bank balance the next day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was the same. I think if you grow up with no money, and I was never given money as a kid, it was embarrassing at times when I'd be asking for some money, because we go to, as a kid, you go to town with your friends, whatever it might be, and maybe getting new clothes. And I remember my dad gave me £1, and it didn't get me a meal at Burger King. I had to get a 99p burger, and that was me spent for the day. So then when you do start getting money, I want to spend it all, and then you get into this unhealthy relationship with money that it's there to be spent, not thinking about the aspects of money that you should be thinking about, which is long-term saving. I know these things can be quite boring, but I think there's a way to bring them to life, and that's just showing people, the impact of compound interest, what it can do for you, what sort of things money can do for you in the future, and then make that real. So talk to people about what sort of things do you want to do with your life that maybe you can't afford right now. Okay, how do we make that a reality? Put a plan in place, and they can feel what it means to them. Because to them, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to get that house in Italy or whatever it is that they'd love to do in the future, and money can do that for them.
Ain't that the truth? And that's why we need financial literacy taught in schools, because that would definitely help the youth of today.
It would. I'm part of the. I'm one of the education champions with the CII, which is the Chartered Insurance Institute, and that is. We go into schools and we do workshops and we do teaching on personal money, and that is a huge thing for me. It's a big passion project to try, because financial advice, what I do day to day for clients is, that's just not everybody can afford that. So there's this huge advice gap, and there is no education, like you say, in schools when it comes to money. I have found through this program that whenever I'm talking to schools about coming to do something there, or do a talk or do a workshop, I'm finding that the